African countries have tremendous economic potential with rewarding opportunities for investors and partners. Are you looking for the best African countries to invest in to foster economic growth and earn returns on investments? Today, we will tell you the top 10 best countries to invest in Africa. Number 10, Egypt. One of the best places to do business in Africa is Egypt. Though it was one of the hardest hit African countries during the COVID pandemic, it was also one of the first African economies to bounce back, thanks mainly to the government's swift implementation of economic measures. Moreover, Egypt's geographical proximity to the Middle East and Europe lends it a territorial advantage. Other potentials of Egypt that private investors should look at are the incredible pool of talent, high population, affordable cost of living, and cheap real estate. There is also a second citizenship possibility for Tier C passport. Economists are optimistic that the GDP will reach a 3.8% increase by year-end. Furthermore, Egypt is also expected to expand its economy by 5.20% in 2023. Having a population of approximately 95 million, Egypt is one of the wealthiest countries in Africa and has a rather stable mixed economy, and it enjoys an average growth, averaging 3% to 5% in the past quarter century. There has been a lot of development stages on the economy where the public and private sectors played roles that imported positively on the economy of the country. Since 2000, the pace of structural reforms, including fiscal, monetary policies, taxation, privatization, and new business litigations, help Egypt move towards a more market-oriented economy and prompted increased foreign investments. Number 9, Morocco. Morocco attracts potential investors seeking to enter new markets. Another place to invest in Africa is Morocco. This African country enjoys a relatively stable political system that directly translates to its sturdy economy, better, in fact, than any country in sub-Saharan Africa. The Moroccan government enjoys closer ties with Europe, but also sees the potential for diplomatic relations with other African countries. The country has reintegrated into the African Union and is working towards membership in the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Last year, the Moroccan economy experienced a 7% increase in GDP. The increase is attributed mainly to the agricultural sector. However, the government expects a slowdown in the economy and forecasts a 3.2% economic growth for the next couple of years. Number 8, South Africa. South Africa was bumped off on the top spot for the best African countries to start a business. South Africa is probably the most popular place to invest in Africa. It has received the lion's share of direct investment in foreign stocks in the whole African continent because of its developed market. Thanks predominantly to its sound economic policies, mature capital market, and availability of financing services. Add to that are the established land infrastructure and ports that facilitate the transport of goods and services. Businesses in South Africa are marked by a robust manufacturing industry and retail market. Thus, retail remains a great business opportunity for expansion. As a result, companies in South Africa remain optimistic despite a lower GDP forecast of 1.3 to 1.8% for the next 2 years. This country boasts a very large economy with a GDP of $354 billion and with a population of about 50 million people. The country has well-developed infrastructures with efficient financial, legal, energy, telecommunication, and transport systems. South Africa has an abundant supply of natural resources. Number 7, Rwanda. Rwanda is positioning itself as the El Salvador of Africa with a strong thrust on good governance. Despite its small size, Rwanda is one of the best countries to invest in Africa and is one of the fastest growing economies on the African continent. Rwanda has become one of the African emerging markets, making an impression on private equity firms, venture capitalists, multinational companies, institutional investors, and even local business leaders. Trade opportunities to watch out for are in the construction and energy sectors. This year, African Development Bank forecast a 6.9% increase in GDP for Rwanda, following double-digit growth in the previous quarters. Number 6. Botswana. Botswana has one of the strongest economies to invest in Africa, with great potential for development. As the least indebted country in Africa, Botswana has high foreign exchange reserves thanks to the Pula Fund. Pula Fund is a long-term investment portfolio of Botswana from preserving part of the revenues from diamond export. This sovereign fund helps lessen debt exposure by financing the majority of the budget deficit caused by the pandemic. Botswana is desirable for high net worth individuals looking to invest in the region because of the low level of corruption and ease of doing business. It is also a high English-speaking country. The leading enterprises for big multinationals and investors to consider are food processing, textile, and mining. Number 5. Ghana. Ghana is located in the West African region and is known for its vast natural resources like oil and gold. It is also the world's second largest cacao producer. Ghana is another country to consider if you want to invest in Africa. Ghana has experienced significant shifts over the past years because of its largely commodity-dependent economy. This poses a double-edged sword. It provided a firm footing before the pandemic but was crippled when demand slowed. However, moving forward, Ghana is positioned for significant growth as economies pick up. Sectors to watch out for: gold, cocoa, and oil. The World Bank forecasts a 5% GDP increase this year. Number 4. Mauritius. Mauritius's economy is one of the most dynamic in sub-Saharan Africa. Mauritius is best known for two things: its tax-friendly environment and its sugar products. Though the agriculture sector is essential, investors would be happy to note that Mauritius is diversifying its economy. Financial services, textile, exports, and tourism are being developed to lessen the country's dependence on sugar production. Therefore, an institutional investor should look at the country's financial sector for opportunities. Number 3. Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is the world's largest cacao producer. Thanks to friendly foreign investment policies, it is also one of the fastest-growing economies in Africa. Investment in infrastructure projects from public and private investment funding continues to drive interest among venture capitalists and private equity firms. Other sectors to watch out for in Cote d'Ivoire are construction, manufacturing, agriculture, transportation, and energy will drive foreign direct investment. Cote d'Ivoire's economy is projected to grow by 6.3% this year and a further 6.6% increase by 2023. Number 2. Kenya. Kenya is the financial and commercial of East Africa, fueled by tech-savvy entrepreneurs. If you want to test the waters in the African market, Kenya will be an excellent place to invest. This East African country is Africa's economic, commercial, financial, and logistic hub. They are driven primarily by young entrepreneurs in technology, specifically in fintech segment. Moreover, startup enterprises with social impact in mind are a hit among foreign investors. Kenya's economy has witnessed enormous growth between 5 and 6% in recent years. The country is also one of the major ICT hubs on the continent, home to many big tech startups in several sectors, including fintech and transportation. Number 1. Tanzania. Tanzania rounds up our list of the top friendly countries to invest in Africa. Tanzania's 10th place is attributed mainly to the economic slowdown in the country's changing business policies. However, government investment in the energy, telecommunications, and finance sectors helps keep the economy afloat. Tanzania's economic growth is at 4.7% for this year and 5.3% for the coming year. Do let us know in the comments where you would like to invest. Please subscribe to Travel the World. Thanks for watching.